Good evening, people. I am Craig, and check out that excited face. And I'm pointing at 31 billion% APY. And you might think that's a typo. I accidentally put in a few too many zeros there, but no, that is the real number right now. Well, as of the time that I'm filming this, on Templar DAO MoonRiver edition. That's right, they've gone cross-chain from the original Binance Smart Chain to MoonRiver. And it's like they're bootstrapping a whole new project. So they're giving that early adopter extra high APYs for you to get your Templar on MoonRiver, as well as a very high APY on Binance Smart Chain, but mind-blowingly high on MoonRiver. I'm going to be doing an insider interview with Vidhu, who's the chief advisor of Templar DAO. He's going to go through all the benefits of why they decided to go cross-chain to MoonRiver. It is a subchain of Polkadot, and it is becoming the DeFi hub of the Polkadot ecosystem. And there's reasons for it. But if nothing else, there's one thing you're going to notice right away. Speed and gas fees of this chain are nothing, insignificant. And supposedly they're going to get even faster and even lower in the future because that chain is actually working on about 20% of its speed and capacity. So the future is, well, pretty damn cheap on that chain. Not a huge deal for DAOs because they do auto compound. So you're not paying that much in gas fees unless you're constantly a bond buyer and getting those claimed rewards every 8 hours. But it is a benefit to have almost non-existent gas fees. So that's one reason. But the other reason is a lot of DeFi is moving to the MoonRiver chain. And with APYs like this, I think a lot of Templar DAO investors are going to start thinking like I did. It's time to bring some of your Templar off of Binance Smart Chain and over to MoonRiver to get not only the higher APYs, but those lower gas fees. So let's get on to the interview with Vidhu, who's going to talk about all the benefits of being on the MoonRiver chain. So welcome, Vidhu, to Cruising on Crypto.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on. So my name's Vidhu. I'm a chief advisor for Templar DAO, me and one other person. His name is Breaking News. Again, we're both not doxed at this point in time. We are the chief advisors for Templar DAO. We help a lot in the broad terms of marketing going forward, and also we were instrumental in suggesting and getting ourselves cross-chain to MoonRiver, and also we help a lot with the investment side of things. Of course, it is a DAO-driven thing, a DAO-driven community, but we do help educate the community, educate our devs on good investment decisions, which is obviously will be left up to the community very shortly to decide. We are implementing DAO mechanics very, very shortly. We have actually voted on a couple of things with the DAO already.
Okay.
So I thought I'd get started with kind of our new UI and what's going on there. So as you can see now, since we've gone cross-chain, in the top corner, you can go to MoonRiver or you can go on BSC. On the BSC side, you see the global market cap now, which is the market cap combined of the Binance Smart Chain and MoonRiver, which at the moment is about $15 million. And we can see a total treasury balance here, which again is the treasury on MoonRiver plus the treasury in Binance Smart Chain. And we can also see what we have here from our treasury vault. So just for people who don't understand, the treasury vault is our reverse protocol. So we go down here, and that's what's invested in a lot in Time Wonderland and some in Olympus DAO.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we've decided to separate that out so it looks very transparent. People know what's actually in the treasury as a treasury, that can be very liquid and help buy back TEM if price does drop, right, to under $1, as is the protocol with all ohm forks. And we also have the treasury vault balance, which people can see very transparently here as well. I'm sure by now a lot of people understand what the runway is. It's the amount of time that we can sustain the current staking APY, a projection of the most bearish worst case scenario that the treasury is never added to again. Right. No one ever bonds again. Like the most catastrophic scenario you can think of, that is what the runway represents. It doesn't really represent what would happen in everyday crypto.
Right. So like if not a single dime ever came in, that's the number of days you could keep paying out at this crazy high APY that you've got right now. So obviously if issues came up and the money slowed down coming in, you'd obviously dial down the APY to extend out your runway, right?
Of course. And we have dialed down the APY a little bit, I think, since you've last done a video on us. We are now at about 85 million APY. Part of that is we are also incentivizing the MoonRiver side a little bit more at this point in time, because it is only about 48, 72 hours old. So we are just trying to incentivize more staking, more bonding on MoonRiver to grow it, because we do believe in that system, in that ecosystem. I'll get more onto that a little bit later. I'll probably just kind of show our new bridge, which is very cool for bridging to and from MoonRiver. So as you can see, it's quite a nice integrated UI we have here. And this bridge is pretty cool because it does three things at the same time. So it uses one bridge to bridge your TEM from BSC to tem.m on MoonRiver, which is a wrapped TEM powered by one bridge to do the wrapping. Then what happens also in the same time is that wrapped TEM is unwrapped into native MoonRiver TEM. And on top of that, if you are new to the MoonRiver ecosystem, the faucet will give you a certain amount of mover tokens to do your first few transactions as well. So this bridge feature actually does three things at the same time. The bridge fee is transparent; it's 1%, because it is not just bridging; it's bridging and unwrapping and giving some mover. It's doing quite a few things, and also that 1% bridge fee also at least discourages something that's bad for the protocol, which is people just spamming bridging to and from Binance Smart Chain to MoonRiver, to Binance Smart Chain to MoonRiver. Because if people do this, we have done a pretty good job at keeping the time for the rebases, when the rebases happen, the same on MoonRiver and Binance Smart Chain. But what we don't want to do is people realize there might be a minute difference and try to bridge between the two, try and catch double the rebases. Yeah. And we don't want people to be like, oh, it's a little bit more cheaper here, or it's a bit more expensive here. I just keep on bridging to sell off. Right. And that really actually reduces the amount of TEM staked as well, which is not really great for the protocol either. So that 1% bridge fee it's not a whole lot of a detractor, but it is enough of a detractor that I think it discourages bad behavior. And that 1% fee is given to the DAO. And
so as an investor, let me just say what I experienced, because I'm a big investor in Templar DAO. I think all my viewers know that. And I had all of it, of course, on Binance Smart Chain because there was no MoonRiver. So I moved, I think about 25%, maybe 30% of my Binance Smart Chain over to MoonRiver, mostly because being a new wing of Templar on a new chain, you guys are incentivizing it, as you said, and you'll probably get into more detail. Higher APY, higher bond discounts. So I moved it over. But there is that 1% fee, so that keeps people, when you guys start to equalize out, it'll stop people from jumping back and forth. But also, anybody who's never bridged before, there is a bit of a delay. So when you first bridge, it says right at the top of the screen there, 10 to 30 minutes. So when you bridge, the first time you do this, you're always going to freak out a bit. It's going to leave your wallet, and it's just going to go to not a wallet you control, a bridge wallet. And it's going to sort of sit there for a while until they get all the coins organized. And then it's going to come back to your MoonRiver wallet. But sometimes it can be like a half an hour, and for a while there, it's not in your old wallet, it's not in the new wallet, and it's just, you know what I mean? So I think that's another feature that slows people from just trying to do this jump all the time, is that you've got that delay of time too, where for a little while, it's not in either of your wallets. So that's why I moved it over there with the intention of just leaving it over there. And if for whatever reason the ROI stayed high on the MoonRiver side, I would just slowly move more and more over to get the higher yield. So just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know some people from time to time notice that the bridge would uh, be kind of out of order. It's not that it's out of order, it's just that there needs to be a certain amount of native native TEM on each chain to actually facilitate that. Because I just want to reiterate what we're doing here is different from what a lot of other Ohm forks have done. I mean, we're all familiar with wrapped stake Ohm and wrapped memo, which can be taken to a variety of different chains. But when you take that, it's not like you can stake that memo or Ohm natively on that new chain, right? It's staked on Ethereum and Avalanche respectively, and it's been wrapped and taken to wherever else. This is different. You are getting native Templar on the MoonRiver chain, and you can natively stake that. So it's very, very different. And you have native bonds on MoonRiver. Very different experience.
Right.
Very different. Yeah, and I must also say that the good thing with us using OneBridge, I know it's not as commonly heard of, but OneBridge is a fully decentralized bridge, and they have never been hacked, unlike some of the other bridges that have been around. And OneBridge has been out there for quite some time, which was why we wanted to use it. I mean, we are a fan of decentralization, and that is one of the reasons we moved to MoonRiver. We love Binance Smart Chain, but we realize its limitations with decentralization, and we want to obviously support decentralized networks as well. But always remembering Binance Smart Chain is our mother chain.
Right.
Yes.
It's a big ecosystem there. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess we can jump in to the MoonRiver side and actually see what's happening. So let us jump.
So keep the viewers should notice that the 85 million is the Binance Smart Chain side. Now we're going to see what the MoonRiver is paying. And last I checked, it was noticeably more.
It was noticeably more. Yeah, here we go. It's like 31 billion at the moment, the APY on the MoonRiver side.
Yeah.
Exactly. As you can see, we're still very much working on getting that staked rate up on the MoonRiver side, which we suspect will happen soon. I mean, it's a very, very new protocol on MoonRiver. It's kind of, when you're launching on a new chain, it's kind of like you're launching a new protocol, right? You got the high APYs, you got us trying to bootstrap the new treasury on the new chain. And you have to educate new customers also and new investors about staking. It takes some time.
Yeah,
but we will get there.
And you're also incentivizing the liquidity pool bonds, very, very much so. Like you'll probably show that in a second. So when people buy bonds, all those TEM have not been staked yet, right? So there's a lot of money that's in this project that hasn't officially gotten over to the staked side. So
yeah, and to be honest, that's good for you, good for me, good for investors who come to MoonRiver and stake, because the stake percentage is less. That's another reason why the APY is so high for staking.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So you can take a big advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That early adopter bonus I often talk about. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Moving on to the stake, as you can see, the staking function looks exactly the same as on Binance Smart Chain. The rebase time is synced between Binance Smart Chain and MoonRiver, which is lovely. And moving on, we can talk about some of those bonds that Craig is talking about. As we can see, there's a big bond discount at the moment on 10 min LP, right? But keep in mind that the staking ROI here is 31%. So that's the bond discount is relative to what the staking ROI is on MoonRiver. But yeah, it's high. It's 39%, and people will be like, why are you doing that? Why are you inflating the supply? Why, don't you care about long-term investors who've been here since day one? Why are you doing that to us? To which I would reply, we actually value our long-term investors a lot. We will actually very shortly be having a sword staking pool, which will be paying out in MIM from dividends that we make, dividend yields that we make from our cross-chain investments from our reverse protocol. So we do value long-term investors greatly. We'll also be having NFTs in the near future. There's a lot of value adds that will be kept there for long-term stakers. But why we are doing this is we also really want to succeed on MoonRiver. And to succeed, we need some liquidity on MoonRiver. The best way of us doing this is from time to time to incentivize the bonding discounts, and that will cause more people to buy, especially the LP bonding discounts, and that will cause a lot more people to bond. That, and we'll get a lot more LP. I think, Craig, you were talking before this interview that when you first crossed over, there was like only $10,000-$20,000 of LP there, and it was so illiquid you couldn't really buy any amount without causing massive price impact. And that's why at the beginning of when we were cross-chain, there was such a massive price discrepancy between MoonRiver and Binance Smart Chain, because even a small purchase would rocket the price up on MoonRiver.
Exactly. So you're going to be talking about Huckleberry in a second, but that's for any of the viewers who are trying to figure out if you want to buy TEM, you're going to probably go to Huckleberry if you're buying TEM on the MoonRiver side. Huckleberry, and the closest link is the MIM coin. So when they own the liquidity of the TEM MIM LP, when Templar owns that, every time somebody's trading in MIM for TEM and whatnot, the liquidity pool fees are going to the liquidity pool, which is owned by Templar. So it's all, if you're an investor in Templar, you want that. You want them to own these liquidity pools. The bigger the liquidity pool gets, the more liquidity there is, which means when you go to buy TEM, $5,000 or $10,000 in purchase isn't going to jack the price of TEM up and cause what we call slippage. So you want the liquidity pool to be as big as possible to make it as stable as possible. So that's what Vidhu is saying, is they're really incentivizing right now in the early days a really high ROI so that they can make the liquidity pool as big as possible, as quickly as possible. Is that what you would agree with?
Exactly correct.
Okay, cool.
Exactly correct. And the reason why we can do this so granularly is I have mentioned in interviews before on other channels, we have a bond bot. So the bonds are automated, and we have granular control of the bond discounts, which most ohm forks at this point in time don't have.
Right.
Which is why we can fine-tune our bonds to incentivize the LP over people just bonding with MIM, et cetera, which we can take for our advantage at this point in time. Yeah, we want more LP, but later on when we're established, we'll probably want people to bond more with MIM. And of course, there's other bonds coming in the very near future as well. And we can really use this treasury and our granular control of bonds to benefit the protocol and benefit investors in the long term, especially because we'll be using a lot of this treasury to continue investing in promising projects, both in MoonRiver ecosystem and cross-chain.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I guess we'll move on. So just so you know, people can bridge now back from MoonRiver to Binance Smart Chain as well. Now, don't be afraid if every now and then the bridge token is grayed out. As I said, that's all about having enough native tokens to be able to bridge back to Binance Smart Chain and also bridge to MoonRiver. So from time to time, that'll happen when we're kind of new on MoonRiver and this whole, cross-chain ohm fork, when people are getting used to it. But I would highly suspect in another 4 or 5 days, this problem's not going to be there, because people will be much more settled with this cross-chain idea. Moving on to Huckleberry and kind of what our partnership provides and how to buy on MoonRiver. So you can literally just type in, so if you have your MIM and you want to buy TEM, we are going to probably talk to the Huckleberry team and get this tem.m out of there, because this is what Craig was talking about earlier, saying that off camera, he had bridged
from SolarBeam. Yeah, I went and bridged to what I thought was TEM on SolarBeam, and it ended up being tem.m, which when I go onto Templar DAO, it didn't recognize that as a proper coin. So I couldn't buy, I couldn't stake it. So I had to then
Yes.
bridge it back to Binance Smart Chain and
Yeah.
go through the
Yeah.
Templar bridge
And
to get
and
the
that
right one.
and that was because that was wrapped Tem. It was not, never native MoonRiver Tem,
Right.
which is why that problem happened.
Exactly.
So you just click on Tem there, and you can buy as needed, just like on either PooCoin or PancakeSwap, whatever you use on Binance Smart Chain. It's as easy as that. Now our partnership with Huckleberry goes further. So Rivers on Huckleberry is kind of what they call LP farming.
Okay.
So Huckleberry is the whole Huckleberry Fin theme. That's why the reward token for Huckleberry is Fin, and why all the LP farming are called Rivers. Um, we will be having our own incentivized river on Huckleberry that will be a sword fin river in the near future. And that will be very cool because you will be getting your staking rewards of sword, and at the same time you will also be getting very good APRs uh, on in the incentivized LP, and you'll be getting quite a lot of fin tokens. So it will be basically dual rewards at that point in time.
Right. For the same dollar invested. You're just for the viewer that doesn't know that what the sword is versus the tem. When you stake your tem, they rename it sword. So then in your wallet, you're going to see these sword coins show up that are in essence really just a staked tem coin. And they're saying now you're going to be able to bring it over to Huckleberry, match it up with Fin coin. Is that right?
Yes, with Fin.
And then you're going to get another APY on that. So you're getting an APY on your already staked tem coin.
So, and keep in mind, this is an APR. The APY is obviously higher, right? The APR is a non-compounding payout, whereas APY, if you wanted to auto compound, the APY would be a lot higher. Yeah.
But with the same $10,000 investment, let's just using a round number, 10,000 you're putting into tem, you're staking it, getting those crazy high APYs, which is auto compounded, because that's what these DAOs do, auto compound for you. Then you get your sword coin, which in the past was just something that sat in your wallet and didn't really do anything for you. Now you can do something with that as well and make another yield on that same original $10,000 investment, which I'm super excited about. As if the rewards, the ROIs weren't high enough. Now you're going to have another layers, which is nice.
Exactly. And for people's peace of mind, Huckleberry Dex is a triple audited Dex, audited by Biosin. The development team is great. Currently, in terms of native dexes on MoonRiver, it's ranked number 2 after Solarbeam. Very promising project, very secure for those people who are maybe cautious, I suppose, dealing with newer projects. Yeah. Now, Craig, I'm also getting a lot of questions from people saying why would you choose MoonRiver? I think even off camera we've had that conversation as well, right, Craig? About why MoonRiver?
Why MoonRiver? Why not Solana or something that more people have heard of? But yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, as I said, we love Binance Smart Chain and we love our community in Binance Smart Chain. But being a decentralized hedge fund, we also think it's important to support very decentralized networks, right? We all know some of the drawbacks with BSC and Solana, etc. Is that validated network is quite centralized. Now, I guess it comes to the talk of what is MoonRiver, and we can first start on the talk of what is Polkadot and Kusama. Polkadot and Kusama were kind of made and founded by Gavin Woods. If you don't know who Gavin Woods is he was the person who basically invented the Ethereum virtual machine. He was, a major player in Ethereum in the early days. He kind of broke away and formed Polkadot and Kusama. Polkadot is the main network. Kusama is the canary network. The best way to think about this is Kusama was built to initially test a lot of code in a live environment with actual money, uh, which would allow people to do things in different ways. If it was just a test net and was with fake money, people act in very different ways to when
Right.
real money is involved. So
Yes.
it's a much better grounds of actually testing by having a canary network. But on top of that, we've seen and will continue to see that what Kusama is starting to become is it's starting to be the place where new things are deployed first, a lot of experimental things are deployed, and also where you get, even more how to say it in a nice way. You'd get more degen kind of plays also on Kusama, and it's differentiating. It will continue to differentiate itself from Polkadot in that way, and both networks will be supported into the future. It's not like Kusama is getting ditched now that Polkadot parachains are coming out.
Right.
Then the question is, okay, they're canary networks. They're very similar. Vidu, what's so different between these and other networks? So Polkadot and Kusama are the first layer 0 protocols. What does that mean? Polkadot and Kusama, they have their own validators that are quite decentralized, spread throughout the world. You can't actually launch a project like a DAO or something. You can't just launch it on Polkadot and Kusama. That's not possible. What Polkadot and Kusama is just a decentralized validator network. What they have then is parachain slots.
Okay.
You have to win these parachain slots through a parachain slot auction that happens, for varying times for Polkadot and Kusama. That costs money. Once you win it, the parachain slot that you win actually acts as the layer 1 protocol. So what happens then is you can launch a new chain, but use the decentralized network that Polkadot and Kusama already have.
Okay.
So you don't run into an issue with like what Solana has faced, what even Binance Smart Chain has faced, of something launching and the network being quite centralized, because you're already utilizing the decentralized validator network of Polkadot and Kusama. So it's very different in that sense. So the answer to your question, Craig, on why launch on MoonRiver, not Moonbeam, not Kusama, not Polkadot, is it's not possible to launch on Kusama and Polkadot because that's not how it works. They're layer 0 protocols,
Okay.
not a layer 1 protocol. Why not Moonbeam? That's a good question. So Moonbeam have only just so they've won their parachain slot auction on Polkadot and have launched, but they don't really have proper DeFi integrations. There's nothing happening on that chain now.
Right.
There's no activity, right? That takes a while to develop.
To build up, yeah.
To build up. Out of all the Polkadot, Polkadot, as I said, parachains not really live in the sense of DeFi at the moment. Out of all the Kusama parachains, MoonRiver is by far the biggest. We've got the most TVL. I think we've got about $500 million in TVL. We've got the most amount of transactions. It's really the golden boy of the Sama ecosystem at this point in time, which is why we've chosen to come here, to show our support for decentralization, and also because we believe in the longer term that Kusama is going to be not Kusama, of course, already is, but MoonRiver is going to be an incredibly successful layer 1 protocol. They're having, about the $400 million liquidity bootstrapping events coming very soon, and we want to obviously capitalize on what we think will be tremendous growth on MoonRiver for Templar, and we think that will be absolutely great for our investors.
I do see the value there now that I've had more time with it, because like I say, you guys are on there, Phantom's on there, Rome's on there. It seems like MoonRiver's getting a bit of a reputation of being the DeFi, area. And as more and more things come on, once people get on a chain and they get used to using the MoonRiver system.
And the other thing is MoonRiver is one of the few EVM compatible parachains on Kusama, which is big. I mean, people say this and that about Ethereum virtual machine and Solidity, but it is the most common developer language, and developers are quite skilled in that. So it's much better to work with developers with what they already know, I think.
Yeah. And one thing that isn't such a big deal for DAOs because they are auto compounding for you. But if you are doing anything where there are repetitive collection of rewards for like bonding and stuff like that, the gas fees on MoonRiver are like infinitesimal. You know, like 1
The
penny
gas
for.
fees are low.
Oh,
The
like
gas
I've
fees
seen
are low.
approvals where
And
it's so low it doesn't even register as 1 penny for an approval, right? So I'm
yeah,
like, that's pretty impressive.
the
So,
gas fees are low, but they will become lower because currently MoonRiver is still operating on the slow mode. So it's actually operating at one
oh,
tenth of its speed. And that's
wow,
because Kusama is also operating at 1/10 of its speed. So it will get a lot faster in January, I think, as well.
that's very cool.
So yeah,
Excellent.
it will get cheaper and faster. So that's what everyone loves.
Yes, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, Craig, do you have any further questions
Do you
for
have
me?
any insight that you can share with us on what's to come in the future? Do you have a roadmap of any new things that you guys are planning, or is that something you
Yeah,
want to keep under
so
wraps for now?
we do have some roadmaps of some cool things that I can talk about. First, in terms of UI, we will be getting a lovely landing page that will be custom designed for us in the near future, which I'm sure you know when you go onto Templar.finance, you'll be greeted with a landing page, and then you can kind of agree to accept to go onto the app, which will be a really nice kind of welcoming screen for our investors, I think. On top of that, we're in continuous talks about NFTs,
Right.
and we are planning on releasing NFTs. And again, this will benefit long-term stakers. On top of that, in January, we are planning on releasing our sword staking pool. So to make that more evident, let's go here. So you stake 10 to get sword,
Right.
okay? And then that sword, again, you could later, again, probably in January, you can decide to go for the sword/fin route and fin that way, or you can also decide to go for I'm going to take that sword and stake it in this new sword pool. So
Oh,
that way I still get my TEM rewards, but once you're in that sword pool for long enough, we're thinking, 10 plus rebases, you start getting some payouts in magic internet
oh,
money.
okay, okay.
And people then wonder, where's this magic internet money coming from? Is it just coming from the treasury? Are you just depleting your treasury? No, that's not what we're doing. What we're going to do is obviously treasury vaults will continue to get bigger and bigger, and especially with Wonderland, um, the 5-day ROI is almost 10%. So that for us is the kind of profits that we will be then passing on to the sword holders, the sword stakers, sorry,
Hmm.
in the form of magic internet money. So we will collect those kind of extra rebases from time. Let's just put time for an example. We'll collect those extra rebases from time. We'll sell them off in a way that does not affect time price, done slowly into
Right.
magic internet money.
Yeah.
And then that magic internet money will be airdropped to long-term stakers of sword in the sword staking pool. Does that
That's
make
smart.
sense?
Yeah, no, that's smart because I think too many DAOs don't incentivize long-term holders enough. And so what people do is they they buy a bond, and when the bond's done claiming everything and everything staked, they sell everything and go back into a bond again, and they just repeat that every 5 days. There is definitely some value, I think, for the protocol for the project to incentivize longer-term stakers, so that there isn't that motivation to every time you see the bond ROI is a little higher than normal, you flip. You know what I mean? Constantly
Yeah,
flipping out of
exactly.
staking. So that's a good idea. I didn't know you guys were doing that. One thing
Exactly.
that crossed my mind on the front screen there, you guys committed to $1 million in Time Wonderland, and you guys are almost there
We're
already.
almost there. We're
Yeah, I
almost
know
there.
that you guys just committed to how you've only been in Time Wonderland for like a few weeks. Is that not right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you're already
We
at
like
almost.
exactly.
So if you
We're
slide the
almost
screen
at
down just a little bit, we'll see it's like
yeah.
$827,000, and your original commitment was 1 million.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the way we're going, we'll be at 1 million before New Year, which is going to be great. And then it's our turn to look at further protocols to invest in,
that's excellent.
both from our MoonRiver Treasury and also from our Binance Smart Chain Treasury. At this point in time, I probably can't give further information on things that we're going to invest in, but just to say, some of the stuff that we really like is we're a big fan of Luna, and we would love ways to long the Luna ecosystem.
Right.
The exact mechanisms of how we're going to long the Luna ecosystem, that's probably a little bit too much alpha information at this point in time.
It's a little far to say for
exactly.
sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, we will be vetting and investing different vaults in the MoonRiver ecosystem as well, into MoonRiver projects, because we believe that there's a lot of upside potential on that chain for very promising projects.
Right. And something we haven't really even mentioned in this episode, but I've mentioned it in previous episodes, is you guys are using your treasury as a hedge fund, or as a incubator of new projects, sort of thing. Where you're investing in small promising projects.
See, I feel like that's definitely the way that Jade wants to go, being a VC. Not so much us being a VC. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to find, I guess some of the projects are still newer, but they have been launched, have been around for a while.
Not launching new stuff, but getting into new stuff.
For us, we want something of a more moderate risk profile when we're investing, because we want to have kind of a guaranteed
rate of return,
profit and return that we can give to our stakers. We don't want to be a hit and miss, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and your time Wonderland is sort of doing that mode of thinking. Exactly. You're investing in best of breed, the one that's been around that seems to have the most long-term potential.
We like to invest in projects that have been established. We also like to invest in projects that generate yield, because that yield we can pass off to our long-term investors.
Right, exactly. Cool. So for liquidity, you said that'll just come with time, right? The whole slippage with the TEM coin.
Yeah, so liquidity will be fixed in two ways. As I said, we have our bond bot. Again, you can see that it's giving quite a high ROI from time to time of the 10 MIM LP. So that'll really, really help. On the same time, we're not going to fractionate LP like we did on Binance Smart Chain. On Binance Smart Chain, we have quite a bit of LP as 10 MIM, and then quite a bit of LP as 10 BUSD. I can switch over so you can see.
I like that about that. When you switch from MoonRiver to BSC, whatever page you were on the other one, you'll stay on the same page. So he was on the bond page, and when you switch over, you're on the bond page on the other one too. So
as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a fractionation of our LP between 10 MIM and 10 BUSD. That's probably, we still have a lot more BUSD, but that's something that we're going to try and avoid on the MoonRiver side, and just stick with a 10 MIM. That way we'll build up the LP very fast in a way that's beneficial for the users. On top of that, at least on the Binance Smart Chain, what we have been doing for a while is we've been taking wrap BNB here. We've been taking a percentage of the wrap BNB every few days, buying back TEM, and then pairing it with this BUSD to create more 10 BUSD LP, which is why our liquidity on the Binance Smart Chain has improved so much. Still no word on what we'll be doing, if we'll be doing something similar like that on the MoonRiver side, but certainly next time I come on this lovely channel to talk to you, Craig, maybe we can talk more about that once teams have finalized exactly what we're doing on the MoonRiver side there.
Yeah, there seems like there's great grand plans for the future. So I think things are going to change very, very quickly. So it may not be very long before you and I are doing another interview. So that's great. Well, is there anything else you can think of that you want to share with us?
I don't think so. I think I've spilled quite a bit of alpha, and I've explained things to the best of my ability.
Yeah,
but
you did
as
a great
always,
job.
guys, comment in the comment section, and I'll when I'm free, or when one of the team's free, we can definitely look at the comment section on YouTube and try and answer some of those questions.
Yeah, that'd be great. So answer.
Other than that, join us on the Templar Telegram.
Okay, well, thank you, Vidhu. It's been a pleasure. It's the first time you and I have ever done an interview, and you were very helpful and answered all of my questions. And like you said, any of the viewers who have questions that didn't get answered here, put them in the comments, and Vidhu or one of his other staff members will check it out and maybe be able to answer you in the comments. And we'll try and collect those questions so that we can maybe ask them in the next video. Sound good?
Thanks for the time, Craig.
Okay, thanks. You have a good night. So there you go. Hopefully you found that interview entertaining and or informative, probably more informative than entertaining this time. I have to keep a little bit more serious when I've got an interviewee on my channel. But what I took from that interview was the excitement of not only getting these mind-blowing APYs, but the fact that in the future, you're going to stake your TEM, get whatever APY is going on, then you're going to have your sword coin that comes out of that staked TEM. You can take that sword coin and either leave it on Templar as a new liquidity pool staking area on Templar, or move it over to Huckleberry, marry it up with the Fin coin, and make APY on Huckleberry. Either way, you're taking the original investment that you put in, and you're getting paid not only once for investing it, but twice in terms of returns, which is just going to be unbelievable. I'm so excited about that. Oh, I love it. Anyways, so yeah, I've already been a huge investor in Templar. I really like their roadmap and where they're going with it. Hopefully you've seen some things in my videos about it that you also like. And yeah, check it out. If you haven't already, it's worth your time to look into. So if you found this informative or entertaining, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this on cryptocurrencies, but more importantly, passive income generated from owning your cryptocurrencies. And that's it. So until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you happiness, health, and wealth in that order. Ciao for now.